The Hedgehog Diaries, a year in the life of a prickly adventurer. Hey everyone, buckle up. We're diving headfirst into the tiny, spiky world of one of nature's most underrated heroes, the hedgehog. Small, round, and covered in an armor of perfectly designed spikes. These little guys have been quietly thriving for millions of years, barely changing while countless other creatures have come and gone. But don't let their cute, squishy-looking faces fool you. Hedgehogs are fierce little survivors with a life that's anything but boring. Autumn, the grand buffet before the snooze. Let's start in autumn, the hedgehog's equivalent of a last-chance shopping spree. The air is crisp, the leaves are putting on a fireworks show of reds and golds, and everywhere you look, creatures are scrambling to stock up before winter. Squirrels are stuffing themselves with nuts, dormice are binging on hazelnuts like they're training for a marathon, and our hedgehog hero is on a mission of his own. Every night, he prowls through gardens, meadows, and under hedgerows, sniffing out worms, beetles, fallen fruit, and anything else that might put on fat for the coming months. He has one rule: reach at least 500 grams of body weight before the frost, or risk becoming an unfortunate winter statistic. And he's serious about this. A hedgehog's nose can detect a tasty morsel from several meters away, and his ears are fine-tuned for the slightest rustle. Think of him as a tiny, prickly supersensor. Out in the meadow, he isn't the only nocturnal foodie. Shrews, his distant cousins, are busy inhaling insects equal to their body weight each day. Bats, another relative in the insectivore club, fly above, munching on mosquitoes. But once the frost hits, the insects vanish, leaving only one way to survive: hibernation. And hedgehogs do it spectacularly. Winter, the tiny death. By late October, as temperatures start dropping below 6 degrees Celsius, it's time to find a home. Hedgehogs don't dig their own burrows. They're more like Airbnb tenants, looking for hollows under shrubs, abandoned burrows, or piles of leaves. Inside, the temperature is stable even if the world outside plunges to minus 20 degrees Celsius. Then, something remarkable happens. His heartbeat slows from 170 beats per minute to 5. His body temperature drops by up to 30 degrees, and his metabolism is dialed down to what scientists call the small death. For weeks, he's essentially in power-save mode, conserving every bit of energy, dreaming perhaps of bugs yet to be eaten. This is how a hedgehog survives winter. A half-year-long slumber that makes him look almost undead to the casual observer. Interestingly, not all hedgehogs hibernate. The desert hedgehog, native to the African sands, skips the winter sleep entirely. Smaller, brighter in color, and sporting large ears to radiate heat, he's perfectly adapted to life in zones where frost is a myth. And yes, he even eats poisonous scorpions, but he's smart about it. The sting? Snipped off before dinner. Safety first, feast second. Spring, rise and snuffle. By March, the world starts to thaw. Streams giggle, buds pop, and our hedgehog stirs, slowly waking from his winter nap. Hormones kick in, fat reserves melt into energy, and within hours, he's back to full hedgehog mode. But after 6 months of not moving, he's famished. The hunt begins. He emerges under the cover of night, but sometimes hunger is too urgent, so even daytime sun doesn't deter him. His eyesight isn't great, but his nose is extraordinary. He can smell insects under a layer of soil, detect puddles for water, and even notice tiny movements in leaves. Every rustle is a clue, every scent a breadcrumb leading him to survival. Spring is dangerous. A late frost could wipe him out before he finds food, and he's lost about 40% of his body weight. But he's resilient. Beetles, worms, and even frog spawn, which he'll reluctantly snack on if desperate, make up the spring menu. And with every meal, he regains strength, preparing for the next big adventure: love. Summer, the hedgy dating game. When flowers bloom and insects swarm, hedgehogs enter the dating Olympics. Males roam up to a kilometer each night, guided by pheromones and sheer determination. When he finds a female, the infamous hedgehog waltz begins. He circles, she huffs and bristles, pretending he's annoying. Hours can pass like this, a prickly slow dance, until perseverance finally wins. Males don't stick around to help with the kids. They're serial daters, moving on to the next female after a successful night. But females? They have a much tougher job. After a 5-week pregnancy, she delivers a litter of hoglets, tiny, blind, and nearly naked. Their spikes are tucked safely beneath the skin at birth, so she doesn't hurt herself while giving birth. Motherhood is a balancing act. She leaves the burrow to forage, risking predators, while her babies huddle together for warmth. Within 3 weeks, they begin to explore, sniff, and nibble their first insects. They grow fast. By a month old, they're already sporting thousands of tiny spikes and learning the ropes of hunting. Urban adventures. Hedgehogs are surprisingly adaptable. Parks, gardens, and even city corners have become their playgrounds. Streetlights attract moths and beetles, which makes urban life a buffet. Their sharp sense of smell guides them through mazes of fences and flower beds. They may be stubby-legged, but these little creatures can cover more than 2 kilometers in a single night. Even newly hatched chicks, like those of the little ringed plover, are fair game for a hungry hedgehog. He's no mindless predator. He's opportunistic, patient, and always sniffing for the next meal. The circle of life. By late summer, the young hedgehogs have become agile, curious teens. The mother can barely keep track of them, and soon, the cycle starts again. Autumn arrives, leaves fall, insects disappear, and the great hibernation looms. And somewhere beneath a pile of leaves, a tiny, spiky heartbeat slows, waiting patiently for spring to return. Hedgehogs are small, but their lives are epic, resilient, curious, and endlessly entertaining. They adapt to deserts, vineyards, forests, and cities alike. They survive winters in tiny power-saving mode, navigate urban jungles with remarkable skill, and teach us, in their quiet way, the art of persistence, cleverness, and joy in the little things. So next time you see a hedgehog snuffling in your garden or hiding under a bush, tip your hat. You're witnessing a tiny marvel of nature, one prickly adventure at a time.